In order to keep this kind of workflows much more light, I'm not going to come into details on things that we have already talked in previous sessions. So in the previous session, we talked about how to import the fundamental libraries and try to provide authentication to Alana. So we are going to skip that. So getting information from Alana, we are going to call our API, our instance, and let me show you a new feature that we are adding on get. We are, for example, get field master. If I want to know the arguments of this function, well, we can consult the docstring given by the API. In this case, this is a function that fetch field information of a given name, field name, or a whole table, and return a dictionary. And here we can see as well the example. In this case, we can use it without any arguments or with a field name that we are interested in. In this case, we're talking about the Alana open server. So we're talking about the bold field. So if I know that the field that it's stored in Alana, it's bold, well, I can call the API and request information regarding this field. In this case, we have the field name, the creation, the updated, and so on and so forth. But I mean, we can keep doing that with the information that is already stored on Alana. In this case, we can as well check for example, the formation. I'm not going to, in this case, the same information, the fetch formation information. In this case, I'm going to leave it blank. So it's going to fetch the Alana server to get the information. In this case, the Hugging information, which is the principal production formation for the bold field. As well, we talked about the previous the previous session about the level of the well, how to request information in the well level. In this case, we're going to create a little workflow with the field level. In this case, I know that in Alana has the bold field, so I'm going to name a variable bold, and I'm going to use, as we have previously seen, get field monthly production. Here, let's see the arguments of this function, and we can see that the fetch field monthly production profile of a given field name. So it has to have, or the API requires, in this case, a field name. And the example, it says, let's copy the example like this. I'm going to, there you go. And here, this is not the variable that I have. So I'm going to add here this variable, and it will take a little bit, but it will fetch the information regarding the field monthly production. We can store this. We can, as Alejandro said, we can use all the tools provided by Python. In this case, we are going to convert this into a data frame. And let's see, and it should be, there you go. The request information, it's on a table state, on a table structure. We're going to save this as the field path. We're going to save it as a data frame. And just to keep things clear, we are going to print the first rows with the head command of pandas. There you go. we can keep doing some interesting things here. We can check, for example, the columns that we have to see. Yes, this is not. We can see the columns that Alana is responding, which has oil rate, water rate. The column, the title of the columns are pretty straightforward: gas rate, oil cumulatives, gas cumulatives, water cumulatives, and so on and so forth, depending on the information that it's already stored and that we provide Alana, that we provide the server, that we can access later on. In this case, we can, for example, check some basic information. I'm going to print. I'm going to use this form of typing in Python of the field, and I'm going to round a number, which is the let's see the df, this structure. We are going to access the oil rate, column, and I want to see the maximum value in that column. So if there you go, should be working now. There you go. Unmatched. There's a little error here. Sorry for that. But interesting. I don't understand why it's not working, but that's what happened when you develop this these things on site. So let me do things a bit more caution. There you go. We have the maximum value in that column, and this goes as in barrels per day in Alana, in field units. So we are going to store this on a variable. In this case, it's a float. Float equals this. And instead of having this here, the round function requires 2 arguments. In this case, the decimal points, and we are going to float prod. There you go. The max production of the field is this number, and in barrels per day, right? That's what was missing on my previous endeavor. So okay, we saw that it's pretty straightforward to request data to Alana. It's in later sessions we are going to cover how to upload data to Alana. We are going to cover a lot of more interesting things that we can develop here. So I'm going to create, in this case, as Alejandro told, we are going to use Plotly, the Plotly library, to create a little plot. So in order to do that, I want you guys to bear with me. I'm going to create a dictionary, which is going to be called dictconfig, which is going to contain the basic or the configurations that I'll be using to create my to create the plot, right? So we know that dictionaries have keys and values. So one of the keys, I'm going to call it the x-axis variable. And this is going to be, I want to create a plot of production. So this is going to be a date. The column of this x-axis will be date, and it will going to request a data from the date column of the data frame, right? As well, I'm going to create the y-axis bar. And of course, these are keys and values. In this case, I'm going to call it strings. So I need to put those apostrophes there. This is going to be the y1, in this case, the primary axis. And here I want to have the oil rate. There you go. And for the secondary axis, maybe we want to have the y2, the oil rate and oil cumulatives. So I know that the column of the cumulatives, it's called oil cum. There you go. So then what else do we want? Let's leave it like that for the time being. Okay. Okay, I have already a dictionary with the basic config. I'm going to create a function, in this case, plotly field production. And this function will require some arguments, in this case, a data frame, and the config, and the dict config that I've previously declared. So, okay, the config. And why I'm doing this in a function manner? Because when we are if we want to use Python, and that's the idea, the whole idea before the Alana API, it's to kind of automate things using the power of Python. So if we keep doing automation with Python, we can be quite we can develop very serious workflows, quality workflows to make our work easier, our analysis much more meaningful. So in this case, the x-axis is going to be the df, the column date, but we called dict config. So in this case, it's going to be the value of the x-axis bar. I forgot the apostrophes. There you go. The y, I deleted it. There you go. The y1, it's going to be the y1 axis bar. I'm going to copy this line fully. Y2 goes with y2. And then I'm going to create the figure in Plotly, the basic figure with the command go.figure. I declared or imported the Plotly graph object as go. So that's why I'm putting go figure, which is the basic object of the plot. Then I'm going to add some traces. In this case, are the elements that will be part of the plot. In this case, a trace. It will be a scatter figure, but we are going to give Plotly some parameters for him to work properly. Y equals y1. The most will be lines in this case. And there you go. Let's keep it simple. Let's close. There you go. And let's yes, I need exactly this. I'm going to create an update of the layout because I want to add a secondary axis layout that has y-axis 2 equals overlaying the y-axis. Side right. This notebook will be updated to and uploaded to the workflow, to the workbook on the little Python icon that Alejandro talked about. For you layout, I misspelled layout. For you guys to try it out. Layout. Side right. Okay. There you go. I can copy and paste this little code, this snippet of code. Anyway, okay, so let's try it like this without, yes, let me try it to check that everything's working properly, at least. Feed show. And I'm going to call this function with the df. In this case, the df it's called underscore field production, and the config is not defined. Yes, I misspelled this. This is a very basic plot, but I mean we can keep adding things and elements to it. We can, instead of maybe, I don't know, we can edit this did config with the variables that we want. Instead of having the oil, we maybe want the watt, the water rate, and the water cumulatives, and so on. And there you go. We are plotting what we already have in memory. We can keep and we can keep, like doing some very complex workflows in this case. But I mean, I think that you guys get the idea. I don't want to, this is not a Python kind of learning 101 session, but I think you guys get the idea. Let me show you the final kind of the final object that I wanted you guys to have. I'm going to copy this line of this. It's not a line of code, but it's quite complex. But I think that this guy really gives the idea of how to visualize data using the Python tool and the in this case the Alana. The Alana capability to fetch data and give us the things that we want to, in this case, visualize. So I think that that would be all from my side.